A new Tampa Bay Business Journal hits newsstands today, and editor Alexis Muellner is here to talk about some of the big stories that you'll find inside this week. Good morning, Alexis.
Good morning to you, Dia.
Friday to you, too.
Likewise.
We start this morning with a really interesting story that a lot of people are going to be talking about. There is apparently an increase in employee complaints about retaliation discrimination. What's that all
it's part
about?
of our special section on diversity. We looked at the trend of complaints to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. And what's happening is that they're rising, first of all, and where they're rising is interesting. In the past, there's been always a lot of racial discrimination, age discrimination, but something called retaliation discrimination is what's really up. And that's a situation where somebody makes a complaint, and then subconsciously or consciously, a manager will treat them differently. And those kinds of complaints, partly because of a recession, partly because this is what's happening in workplaces, are on the rise. And what it says is that employers and companies really need to have very clear policies and educate their folks on where these things can crop up.
Yeah, sign of the times, unfortunately.
It is unfortunate, and but it behooves workplaces to really be clear about their policies.
All right, we now move on to the long goodbye. The St. Pete Pier's days are numbered. How many are officially left?
The pier review. Well, it's unclear exactly. I mean, the iconic pyramid-shaped pier down in St. Petersburg, some people love it, some people hate it. The city initially thought they might shore up some of the structure, but now what we're reporting is that there's going to be a design competition. They're going to put out details next week. They're going to finalize this, but they're seeking input on all kinds of creative ideas to redevelop the pier. Now, there's 50,000 square feet of retail. Some of us have been there. It can be a very sleepy place during the week, but there's so much potential with that spot, and the city has decided they want to seek some input, and it's going to be really interesting to see when you put it out to the creative community what comes back, and they'll decide on a plan soon.
Yeah, it's actually really exciting to see what we could see in the future.
Yeah, and the fact is it's going to come down. So what happens there in the future has a lot of potential for the St. Pete waterfront.
Yep. Okay, now we move on to Tampa Electric, finally settling a past due bill with the Port of Tampa.
Well, this would not have gotten any recognition except our reporter Mark Holland was at one of the port meetings, and one of the commissioners decided that he may hope that some of the newspapers or media picked up on it. This is about almost a $400,000 bill that the TECO, which provides dredging services, I'm sorry, the other way around, the port provides dredging services to TECO. A bill hadn't been paid in like 6 months, and it was about to go to legal action, and we looked into it. And the joke was that the commissioner said that, hey, if we owe TECO this kind of money, we wouldn't have lights and electricity. But apparently it's been paid and resolved, and that's sometimes some insight into what happens with a company like TECO when it has a $500,000 bill.
Yeah, it took a long time to get there, but at least it's done now.
And now it's been paid, yeah.
All right, thanks, Alexis. Always good to see you. And for more Business Journal headlines, go to abcactionnews.com/business.